I'm once again here to talk about a Studio Ghibli film. Today, it's Howl's Moving Castle. What a confusing ride that was. Hi, my name's Stu and welcome to another review video on Flying Wiener. Now, I've covered quite a few Ghibli films at this point, not all of the ones that I want to see, not even close to getting, I think I'm not even halfway through all of them that even exist, so I'm still on a very, very long journey, but it's a lot of fun, I will admit that. It's definitely very interesting, and there's always this moment, a bit of trepidation. It's like when I get ready to watch the next one, it's like, what's going to be in this one? Because I will say one thing, even you could so easily just sort of, just write them off by assuming that they're all, it's just children's films, just animation, but I have to say they're all so vastly different. It's so fascinating. It's really incredible to think that this group of people at Studio Ghibli, I mean, obviously they've changed over the years and decades, but still that they have managed to craft all of these really, really different, but really unique and interesting, wonderful stories, It's funny, the last one I talked about was Ponyo, which to me was just a really, really weird outing. I was like, the goldfish girl who turns into a human girl, it was just like a bit all over the place for me. Little did I know that Howl's Moving Castle exists. I mean, I knew it existed, but little did I know what reaction I would have to watching it, because this, full disclosure, I watched it twice, and the second time around I had a much better experience. The first time round I just felt really confused. I just felt like it was really convoluted. There was so much stuff going on, so many characters. I was like, what is going on? I do not have an idea. Watched it a second time and I feel like I've got a better grasp of it all, could understand it more because, it wasn't just all hitting me in the face at full speed. But at least according to my research, that seems to be the experience that many people have watching Howl's Moving Castle. So I don't feel singled out. I feel like part of the group in a way. That being said, it is an incredible film. The animation obviously is just magnificent, and that alone warrants the viewing. But I can appreciate the story a lot more now. If you're ready and open to it, and I would recommend ready to revisiting it a few times, you will definitely manage to see a lot of very interesting themes that are going on in this film, in my opinion. I've also watched a YouTube video or two, that also clued me. I was like, okay, yeah, I can see a bit more. But yes, there's a lot going on here in this film. So what is it about? Let's start with the easy things. If you're not familiar, I wasn't either. It's actually based on a book, a novel. I'll put an image of it here. I haven't read the book, full disclosure, but I will say that to my information, to my knowledge, Studio Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki, they have changed quite a few aspects of this, right? I'll maybe delve into that a bit later, because there is one big thing that is very, very different in this film compared to the books, as far as I know. But what is the film about? We are focused on this girl. Her name is Sophie. She's got two sisters. She is working as a cleaning lady, and one of the things we learn very early on is that she doesn't have a big sense of self-worth. She thinks that although she's young, she really feels like she's ugly and old and stuff like that. She is cursed by a witch, the Witch of the Waste, as she's called, with an incredible design. This design will make any person on the earth feel very slim. It'll make you feel good about yourself if you have problems with feeling fat or so. She curses Sophie to be an old woman, and she is also not allowed to talk about this curse, so she can't go around telling people. Sophie decides that she can't stay with her family, so she's going to head out and try and find help. We, up to this point, hear about this guy called Howl, who's apparently a sorcerer, a wizard, and he's got this moving castle. Sophie stumbles upon this moving castle. Now, what is a moving castle? Basically, you can imagine just that. It's like a huge castle, right? It's got various sort of bits, little houses attached to it, and it's all walking on just a few legs. That is it, basically, right? This castle is inhabited by many people, Howl, of course, being one of them, this wizard, this sorcerer, but there are other beings as well. You've got You've got a fire demon there who literally powers the whole thing. His name is Calcifer. But you've got other people as well who also pop up in the story. And quite a few people are added over time. And that doesn't exactly make the whole thing easier, especially because I felt constantly figuring out what is going on even. What we learn about the world that these people are in is that there are two nations that are at war with each other, right? And the one kingdom is trying to enlist all the sorcerers to help them because, as you can imagine, having magic on your side will obviously give you a huge advantage. And Howl is trying his best to stay out of the whole thing, right? While this is all going on, we've got Sophie, who's obviously trying to figure out her own situation and maybe somehow try and lift her own curse. We also learn that Howl himself is troubled, and he's got a dark side to him that he needs to figure out as well. This all seems very simple. The way it's presented in the story to me, and you know, I mean, fair play, I might just be stupider than other people, that is absolutely fine. All I'm saying is the way it was presented in the story to me was just very confusing. Got it the second time round, though, that's, that's the thing I will repeat again and again. Yes. So this is the situation we're dealing in. We've got this little band, you could even nearly call them a little band of misfits. They just want to, you know, just keep to themselves, do whatever it is they're doing in their castle. They want to stay out of all this big war that's going on. But as you can imagine, that's not really the way the story goes. They're not being permitted to stay out of the whole thing, right? That's more or less what I'll tell you about it. Because again, not the easiest story to follow. So we've got these several strands, but you could generally say it's about various beings, people, entities, whatever. Yeah, trying to come together, find a place to be. Also, just really find a way to really just appreciate themselves. In the case of Sophie, you know, it's about her just learning to love herself, you know, and just be fine with her appearance and starting to love it, all these kind of things. Helping people, etc., etc. Yes, that's all I'll talk about. So the film's got various themes that I've already just mentioned, and they are what I feel is mainly what brings people back to seeing this film. One of the big themes, that's what I hinted at earlier, is war, of course. I've mentioned a few times. Interestingly, it seems that in the book that this film is based on, the war itself is only like a little byline. It's only mentioned just briefly somewhere in the over 400 pages or whatever it has. And that's it. Hayao Miyazaki, however, made it to a really, really main element of this story. We not just hear about it quite a lot, we actually see a lot of the violence that goes on with bombs being dropped and other things. You've got airships going on, all these kind of things. Apparently this is because the film came out after the Iraq War, and Hayao Miyazaki later, years later, admitted to not even going to the Oscars because of I think because of Spirited Away, they won the Oscar. He didn't even go to the Oscars because he was protesting about the Iraq War. Apparently without telling anyone. Just years later, he said, oh yeah, by the way, that thing I didn't go to, those Oscars, it was because of the Iraq War. And was like, okay, fine. But yes, so this is like a very, very much so an anti-war film. Apparently the inspiration was the Iraq War. Iraq, doesn't matter. Iraq War. Yes, it's a very main element of the story. It's also one of the elements that makes me question these age certificates, because this film, Howl's Moving Castle, at least in German-speaking areas, has got an age certificate of 6, which means that kids 6 and older should be able to watch it. I don't trust these age certificates anymore since Grave of the Fireflies, that's what the film is called, Studio Ghibli, has also got an age certificate of 6 years old, and it traumatized me as a nearly 40-year-old man, you know, and they're like, oh no, 6-year-olds, fine to watch it. Now, it's not quite as bad. Grave of the Fireflies is an incredible film, but it'll really destroy you. It's not quite that level of trauma. My 5-year-old, she was fine with it, but just be aware that there's a lot of bombs being dropped. You've got some people turning into other things, you know, just some transforming going on, morphing, etc. You know, just be aware of that. Depending on what your kids are like, maybe they won't enjoy it quite as much, you know. So you've got some really difficult themes. I don't really know what my daughter thought of the film as a whole. She was like, yeah, fine, it was a film. He laughed at a few things, and that's all she's interested in, really. She obviously won't really sit down and try to figure out the deeper themes of it, but it's fine. No, there's a lot of interesting stuff here, like I say, especially if you revisit it. It's actually, I would even say it's more of a film for adults than it is for kids because of all the stuff that's going on. There's a lot of visual cues that you will pick up over the course of the film that are trying to tell you sort of about where people are in their current state or development or whatever. So there's just a lot to unpack here. It's really interesting. So I didn't appreciate it myself until I saw it a second time, I will admit, because the first time I was like, okay, how am I going to talk about this on my YouTube channel? People are going to hate me, the internet's going to hate me. People love this film. After the second viewing, I kind of get where people are coming from. There's still a lot of stuff in there that I'm not sure about. You even have a little time traveling aspect in it. But again, I can appreciate the overall story a lot more. Visually, again, it's a Studio Ghibli film. We are used to a certain quality of them. I'm not trying to sort of talk down to, on it or something like that. It's just that this film as well is just incredible to look at visually. And that alone, warrants the price of admission, as they say, So yes, if you have the chance, watch it, and definitely watch it again, and maybe a third time, just to make sure you get all the ins and outs of the story. But other than that, it is definitely a recommendation from me. If you're a Ghibli fan by now, just like I am, you will watch it anyway, just like I did. I'm looking forward to the next one. And again, we'll all be sitting there going, is this going to be worse? Am I going to understand this one? Do I have enough intelligence for it? I don't know. It's incredible what Hayao Miyazaki, he makes these films for kids, but I feel, again, there's just even a lot more than many examples that people bring from, I don't know, Disney or Pixar or whatever. His films especially, I feel like there's so much in there for adults. I think there's really incredible work they do there. Him and obviously his whole team. Anyway, that'll be all from me today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. It is the best way to support this channel. Leave a comment down below about anything you want to say about Howl's Moving Castle, what I got wrong, why I'm an idiot for not getting it the first time around. Anything you want to say, put it down there. I'll leave a link to my review of Ponyo up here if you want to see that, if you want to see a confused me. Yeah, if that's your thing, check out that review video. I'll thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one on Flying Wiener. Take care. Bye.